wonderful at all. Look at me sitting forward here. Good morning, Jim.
Morning, Sharon.
Welcome to our breakfast television with your coach and consultant. I'm Cher Cunningham. I'm your coach.
I'm Jim Plow. I'm your consultant.
So looking at the CFIB website the other day and saw that the number that they've been quoting since last June 2022, 50% of small businesses have not recovered revenues to the pre-pandemic levels post-pandemic. They've been saying that in June, they said it again in February, and that number hasn't changed. That is a massive challenge for businesses who are facing that repayment of the CEBA loan right now.
Absolutely. And it looks like the federal government, although it's made some minor concessions, the CFIB continues to, push on, and now the premiers have joined in, push on having the federal government move that repayment out by year with the ability to capture the $20,000 forgivable portion. But I mean, it's October 31st, so it'll be difficult for that to get accomplished before the end of the year.
Absolutely. And struggling businesses tend to look towards outside supports, outside money to try and figure out how do we get through this. And certainly when the pandemic hit, that loan seemed like an amazing idea. No business plan required. Now businesses are looking around, scrambling, trying to figure out how do they qualify for more debt, new debt to fix the old debt, and perhaps some additional debt in order to give them some breathing space to move forward. And absolutely a business plan, that is one of the points. But what we do want to share today is it doesn't have to be the only point of creating your business plan. Those business plans tend to get created and then they sit on a shelf, gather dust once you have taken them to the bank and either been approved or denied for that loan.
I think we typically see that people arrive as clients that have created business plans essentially for one of two purposes or in one of two ways. One of them is they needed financing, and BDC is a very typical place to go for a small business to get a loan, and BDC wants to see your business plan. So sometimes people have business plans that they specifically assembled in order to get debt. And the other way is that sometimes they've gone through an entrepreneurial program that had them put together a sort of a scaled down business plan in order to launch their business. So it just gives them a little bit of direction. But those are really the two bookends of the business planning process that we generally see with clients when they arrive.
If they have a plan at all.
If they have a plan.
And if you're watching this and you say, wow, I don't even have a business plan that I did in that situation, I don't know how I would do a business plan, you're actually much more common than you think. It is very typical that most small local businesses, especially service businesses, have not had to create a business plan because they're not buying inventory. If they are, they're buying it for a project. They're in a different situation than retail or manufacturing. So a plan hasn't seemed essential. And yet, if you're in a situation where your bottom line profit is showing in the 4 or 5 digits instead of the 6 or high 6 digits, then a business plan is really the way to capture that profit. And that's the other point of business planning, is to make your business more powerful, more profitable, better positioned so that it becomes more enjoyable and finally pays you back. Or as I say, you create a business that loves you back. You've been putting your blood, sweat, and tears into the business. You've got enough history behind you, enough clients, enough experience that you actually have a ton of data inside your business that you can lever to make it more powerful.
And when we say small business, we're talking about businesses that are closing in on $1 million in sales, maybe slightly under, maybe slightly over, right up to say sort of $2.5 million in sales. And those are places where a business plan can do two things for you, leaving aside for a minute that you might need it or might want it to raise money, and it'll be a requirement in that case. But it's such a powerful internal thing to do for yourself, for your own business. And there are really two consequential reasons to want to do that for yourself. So one of them And this goes to mindset, and Cher works a lot with our clients on mindset, is that by documenting, by actually going through the process of thinking through your business plan and what you want to accomplish over a longer period of time, you create the future. So that is the writing of a business plan is a creation process for the business owner. And the second purpose for it is it allows you to manage against some milestones that you've set out to know whether or not you're actually accomplishing, achieving that vision that you have in your head.
And if you're a small business who's been around for a few years, you've got, between 5 and even 30 employees, often you're still operating a lot like your first or second year of business. Your pricing is still far more self-employed like. Your ability to create the future is actually about putting intention into how do you ensure that you create a sustainable business, because we know that our clients, when we meet them, are often worried about making payroll, concerned about the cash flow dips that seem unpredictable, but actually can be very predictable and surfable, if we can put it that way. So taking the time to step back and realize you have control over your business, breaking out of that status quo and looking backwards to look forward to say, what's working really well in my business that I want to do more of? What do I want to stop doing? Who do I want to stop serving? And who do I want to actually pursue more because they're incredible clients? You actually have the power to do that. And without doing business planning, it can feel like you're at the mercy of your business.
And the focus wants to be, so when people think, they hear the word business plan, they do think about that. I got to go get financing and they're going to ask me for 3 to 5 years worth of projections. And we all know as small business people that having a horizon beyond 1 year is probably not going to happen. Like, you're focused on this week, on this month, on this quarter, and we're coming up to January 1st, and this is business planning time of the year because most people's years run January to December. So it's very typical for people now to be thinking about the year ahead. And we think that is the right planning horizon for companies that are in that kind of $1 million to $2.5 million worth of revenue, because you can focus on growth, but you can focus on profit specifically over the next year that will, going back to our original comment, that will help you manage the CEBA loan demand. And hopefully the government pushed it off, but really a focus on profit is what the shorter term business planning process should be. And we orient our whole program towards that 1 year plan,
with very specific projects that help you right-size your profit. Mm-hmm. Often we'll hear people say, I don't want to get rich, I just want to spend more time with my family. Making sustainable profit and spending time with your family go hand in hand. You have to do both. It isn't about getting crazy greedy rich. It's about right-sizing your profit so that it meets industry standards for a sustainable business. And I don't think we've met a client yet whose profit margins were appropriate for the business they were in.
Often that happens because you started as an entrepreneur working by yourself, and then you added helpers, and now you've got staff who are doing the thing that helped you start your business. And the pricing that you had as a sole proprietor or as a solopreneur is not the pricing, for example, that will sustain a staff. So your prices have to reflect the fact that you're in business now, as opposed to providing yourself an income. And that is a leap that eventually you have to make to be successful in business, but is not really apparent because you have clients now and they're used to paying a particular price. And maybe there's going to need to be a transition to clients who value the services that you do more highly, so that you can raise your prices to make your business sustainable.
And what we find, even in the North Star session where Jim does a deep analysis of your financial statements, typically what we find is anywhere between 100,000 and I think 350,000. I know we had a client last week that is much higher than that as well. But the typical range of what we're finding just by right sizing your profit in money that is being left on the table is that low six figure, 100 to 300,000 is not unusual because success is math. And being able to dig into your margins to understand what makes a business sustainable, what makes it worth your time as a business owner, not just giving you a paycheck, but an actual return on risk, helps you also value your business more so that you can do what is just standard. It's not excessive, it's not pushy, it's not what your clients shouldn't be also expecting. We do have a lot of clients who go out and say, I started charging 30% or 50% more, and there's no pushback from clients at all. Occasionally they'll get the comment, yeah, we knew that was coming, but we thought it was going to happen 5 years ago. So that ability to just treat your business with more respect and really capture your passion, capture your excellence, and monetize it appropriately gives you the breathing space that debt will never give you.
And there's really a systemic approach to going at how to make your business more profitable without, doubling its size, because scaling revenue, if your profit's not fixed, just causes more problems. We've seen that happen. So the process of engineering your profit, if you want to call it that, of working through the business you have now to really, really get the most out of it from a profitability perspective is really a systemic thing. We've broken this down into 5 levers. The levers will absolutely make sense to you. Pricing to market is one of them. We just talked about it. And we have an event coming up called Do This Next.
It's transformative. I know when I was a young businesswoman in my web design business, I thought if I could just take 2 weeks away, grab Bill Gates and his team, go to some remote island and focus on my business, I could finally fix whatever the heck is going wrong. But what you actually need is not a bunch of Mai Tais by the pool. You actually need a framework that helps you efficiently, effectively look at what am I doing now? What should I do next? And so appropriately named Do This Next. This is a workshopping, hands-on, done with you side by side, coaching and workshopping your business, where it is today, and your goals for the year ahead. First of all, getting appropriate goals for the year ahead, depending on what kind of the theme of your next year should be, logically on your journey through your business success path. And then specifically getting those goals in place with you and making them actionable, because great ideas with no execution aren't really great ideas at all.
Turn your goals into projects at this workshop, and the projects fit into these 5 buckets that we've developed that will very much help you accomplish the profitability, achieve the profitability that you'd like to in the year ahead. What better time to do this in the fall? This is planning time of the year. Everybody's thinking about, hey, New Year's is coming up. My business, I really want to accomplish this particular thing. This is one of those tools that you can use to move your business forward in 2024.
And it's a small group session, so your questions will be answered. We will be working with you one-on-one to make sure that you understand some of the concepts that we're going to share and exactly how they apply to your business. So I know last year our attendees were blown away by the leaps they were able to make in understanding their own business better from that outside perspective. Third-party eyes can often help you break out of status quo. So we invite you to click the link below to find out more. It's in the description of this video. And if you would like to have a quick call to talk about whether this really applies to your business, absolutely book a meeting with us.
November 17th.
November 17th. It's a full day event. We'll feed you, we'll give you a workbook, we'll take care of you.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I hope to see you there. If you've got questions about it, go have a peek at the page and do reach out.
I'm Jim Pillow, I'm the consultant.
And I'm Cher Cunningham, I'm the coach.
Thanks for being with us this morning.
Hope to see you again Thursday.